Hello, today is October 31st, 2020. Happy Halloween. And today we're going to be going over my second to last presidential Electoral College United States prediction. So, let's just start with my characterizations. This color means safe blue, which is 15 points or more. This is likely blue, 7 to 15 points. This is 2 to 7 points, which is lean blue. And then this is tilt blue, which is 2 or under points. And then this is safe red 15 over, uh, likely red 7 to 15, lean red 2 to 7, tilt red 2 and under. So, let's get started with the states I think will go to Joe Biden by over 15 points, which are Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, Illinois, New York, Vermont, Maine's 1st District, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, DC, and that is it. That I think those are all the safe states I think will go to Biden. Now, and Harris, I guess. Now, the safe states I think will go to Trump are North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, Nebraska, Nebraska's 1st District, and Nebraska's third District, despite competitive polling, which I think are all just outliers by SurveyMonkey. Oklahoma, because it went to Trump by 25 points, so yeah. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Alabama. Those are all the safe states I think will go to Trump, and now you might be seeing that there's a lot missing here from the usual safe margins for people. However, Connecticut and Montana have close Senate races reflecting upon the presidential race. They do not approve of Trump as much as the other Republican states, and they are blue in the demographic trending. In Utah, Evan McMullin endorsed Biden, and Romney publicly said he did not vote for Trump, basically endorsing Biden. So, in the long run, Utah, the two of the biggest celebrities in Utah, biggest political celebrities in Utah, do not like Trump publicly. They have said it. Romney voted against Trump in his impeachment, which made it like a 48-52 or something. And all of this really just there's a lot going on in Utah. It's tough there right now. For Missouri almost went to Obama in 2008 by like 1 point. Same with Montana, which could be another reason why it's a little bit close. In the more on the competitive side than the safe side, around 5 to 7 points for Missouri consistently over and over and over. Kansas is like 5 to 12, but Missouri I think is just a little bit more competitive. No real reason to it. It's I don't know. Indiana only went to Trump by 19 points. That sounds like a lot, but based on the other safe Republican states here, not nearly enough compared to them. Like Tennessee, 30 points, which is borderline likely now. Actually, polling is a likely state with around 14 points. However, Indiana is what we're talking about, and Indiana, I do believe, will go to Trump by a likely margin, around 12 points. Mainly because they don't like Pence, they don't like Trump that much, and they did go to Obama in 2008. It was a little bit competitive in 2012. 2016, it wasn't, but that wasn't Obama and Biden running. Now, I guess they're going back and forth in their directions, whether it's a little bit or not. Indiana at heart is now going to be a safe red state, but not this election due to its highly unpopular opinion of the Republican candidates running right now. And if you've been to Indiana, you see Biden Pence signs everywhere. Nope, not Biden Pence, Biden Harris signs everywhere. There's a lot of that stuff. I've been to Indiana. It's nice there. South Carolina and Alaska are polling lean, but I both think that they will do the opposite of narrow up and go to Trump also by a likely margin. Meaning, mainly because they already went to Trump by a likely margin in 2016. You cannot expect him to gain support in these states that are already turning blue in the first place. South Carolina has a really competitive Senate race going on right now, and so does Alaska. These states are eventually going to be blue states. Honestly, blue strongholds. Like once there's going to be a time where Democrats have Texas and Georgia in the safe margin with their regular safe states. that already puts Democrats at 250 electoral votes. The whole country is forming blue. Same with Colorado, New Mexico, Virginia, Nevada. See, the Rust Belt is turning red though, so that's where Republicans got to keep their hopes up. But they're losing so many electoral votes that it's going to be really hard to do. But that is something we're going to be talking about in another video. I do think South Carolina and Alaska will go to Trump by around an 8-point margin each. Mississippi, I think, will go to Trump by a very borderline 15-point margin, around 14, 13 points. It's polling around 9 points for Trump, but with all the voter suppression going around, I do think it will go more for Trump than it's showing. But there is expected to be a lot of more turnout than there was in 2016. So it'll probably go likely either way. There's polls where Mississippi is like 10 points for Trump, and then there's like a poll where he's up 30. I don't get the 20-point gap in there. Let's go to Michigan now, another easy swing state to characterize. I keep Michigan as a lean blue state. Not really. It hasn't narrowed up at all. And I mean, honestly, I'm moving it to likely. I'm moving it to likely right now, simply just because after the last debate, Michigan spiked. Not in COVID cases. I know that's what people use the word spiked for now. But Michigan spiked in disapproval for Trump. They didn't like Trump in the first place, and now Biden's leading with a consistent like 10-point, 9-point, up to 19-point lead. If you saw that 19-point lead, it was like an A-rated pollster that did that too. So there's a lot of stuff going on in Michigan, especially with Trump supporters plotting to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. I mean, that was ridiculous. And there's just so much stuff. I'm not going to get more into that. Wisconsin, I have as lean towards the Democrats, around 3 to 4 points. I think it'll go to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, mainly because it only went to Trump by 0.7 points, I believe. Same with Pennsylvania. But Wisconsin has a bad approval rating, is moving blue this year, at least in the polls. If the polls were as incorrect as they were in 2016, Wisconsin would still go blue by a very small margin, like a 0.5 margin, but it would still go blue, which is the most important part of the characterizations. Not how much I think it will go to them. However, I do like doing that because it's more detailed and it shows that I give more thought and depth into my characterizations. Minnesota, I have as likely blue for the Democrats. I mean, they're winning by 11, 10, 15, 19 constantly. It's just, and the polling was correct in 2016 and 2018, and the Senate candidate, which the Senate polls are a lot more correct than the presidential polls. The Senate candidate tends to run as well as Joe Biden in the polls, and it's doing just that this year with Tina Smith. So Minnesota, not a very good place for the Republicans to be this year. I mean, Trump, I don't know why he's campaigning in Minnesota instead of Arizona. He's campaigning in Pennsylvania a lot, because if he can take Pennsylvania, then he'll most likely take North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas, and Iowa, and Ohio. But then again, he needs Arizona. He'll still lose if he misses one of those states. And right now, he's losing in Pennsylvania, which I think will go to Biden by a lean margin, his home state. I think he's going to lose North Carolina and Florida by tilt margin. Florida has bad Latino voters. Not bad Latino voters. That sounded way racist. I meant it has bad Latino numbers for Biden, worse than Hillary, but Biden is making up for the majority of voters, which are white. He's making up a lot among white voters. So I think Florida will tilt towards Biden in his direction. In North Carolina, a lot of ballots are getting rejected, but then again, Biden is doing well among white voters, and that's what matters. Uh, Again, if there was no minorities at the end of the day, every state would go red. However, competitive states is something you gotta be good among the white voters on because they make up majority of the voters. Now, Obama won mainly because the huge minority turnouts he got, especially in 2008. He won by like 370 electoral votes. It was insane. That's as modern day landslide as it's going to get. Colorado, New Mexico, and Virginia, I believe, are going to be likely states. Uh, Everyone knows this. I don't think Biden has lost support among people here. New Mexico may be lean based on new polling, but in 99% of the polling, New Mexico is a likely to safe state, especially since Hillary won it by a likely margin, which is around 8 points. Nevada, I am putting as lean blue because how bad the Latino numbers are. Uh, like, the polling has it as tilt blue, but almost all the time Nevada tends to underestimate in the polling Democrats. So I'm going to go based off of that and based off how there's still more Latinos that like Biden more. It's not like he's losing in Latinos. He's losing Latinos, he's not losing in Latinos. He's not losing them, but he's losing them. It's so hard to explain in that context. I'm sorry. Alright, let me try and reword this again. He is losing Latino support, but not enough for him to fall behind Trump's Latino support. There we go. I need likes for that. I finally worded it correctly. Arizona, I think, will go to Biden by a tilt margin. Honestly, at the point it was polling likely and lean, but I do think, however, even though it's showing lean, I think it'll tilt towards Biden. It did vote for Kristen Sinema, the Democratic candidate for Senate in 2018. I do think it'll go blue again. I don't see any reason it would reverse, especially against this president. And majority of the votes in 2018 were Republicans were confident. The Democrats gained a lot of seats, and they gained Senate seats, I believe. I think they gained like 2 Senate seats. I know they gained Alabama, which was only because Doug Jones was going against Roy Moore, which is a child molester. Okay, Georgia, I think will go blue. This is going to be the most confusing state for anybody here to listen to. Georgia has a bad approval rating of Trump. It's polling 2 to 6 points for Biden consistently over the past month. It is showing demographics that'll, for the Democrats, very well. The trending demographics is in the Democrats' direction. There's a lot of white voters in Georgia, which Biden's doing a lot better on. There's less voter suppression than there was in 2016 with all the mail-in voting. You could argue that there's more, but I don't think there is. What's another reason? Georgia is about to bring in 2 Democratic senators, which its Senate polls tend to be accurate. That's 6 reasons. I mean, I could go on for a little bit longer, which I will. Georgia also has all these protests that were going on at the beginning of June, which really led the Republicans in that state to be more optimistic towards the president, which has very severely induced the hate in Georgia. Now, not that he was telling people to go out and protest, but he is dividing our country, and that's something that a lot of Republicans do not like about him, especially right now. And I have Maine, New Hampshire, and Maine's 2nd district, and and Nebraska's 2nd district all going to Biden. However, those are all 4-1 electoral votes, so that's not important. I do think Iowa will go to Trump by a tilt margin or a lean margin. Same with Ohio, as the polls in 2016 were highly inflated for the Democrats, and they still had Trump winning, and that's exactly what they're doing this time around. Biden has now lost his lead in Iowa, but not by a big lead at all. Not by a big margin at all. Texas, honestly, I would put it as tilt blue, but I know how much hate I'll get for that. I it's so hard because if there was no voter suppression in Texas right now, I do think it would go blue. I really do. Trump has done consistently bad in Texas. He only got up in his lead. He only got his lead back because of the RNC. Uh, Biden was up for about a month in Texas, from mid July to mid August, and then the DNC happened. Then he got like a 3 point boost, and then the RNC happened, and then all that stuff happened. But now Texas is 107% of the state has mailed in, compared to their 2016 margin. So 7% more people have voted. I'm sure at least 110% have voted now. So Texas is literally giving their 110% on this election. And the lead that Democrats have, the leads the Democratic that the oh my god, I can't talk. The leads that Democrats have in these states in mail-in voting, almost every single state, is insane. Like Texas, they would win by a lean or likely margin. Colorado, New Mexico, Virginia, every blue state I have on here would be almost a safe margin. Most of them already a safe margin. Nevada, a likely margin. North Carolina would be. I mean, honestly, I think every state would be almost safe. But you got to keep in mind, there's going to be a huge Republican turnout on election day, and that's going to be something you want to look out for. It's not over yet. It's almost over yet. There's going to be one more prediction on this channel for the presidential race. So please, by all means, stay tuned in to this channel and subscribe. I will have a video up on election day or the night before election day giving my final predictions, and we will be doing a review video of election night to seeing if I got this right or not. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.